See, now, friend, I wasn't even going to touch on the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell, the trafficker in this whole Epstein ring, did indeed have a horse named Bubba. Yeah, a horse. Yeah, the name Bubba is not random. And we're not just going to slide past it like it is, because either way his supporters try to slice this, it's not looking good either way. Because let's be for real, okay? If we're going to talk about him blowing Bubba, he's either going to have to confess to some late night bro and bro Olympics, or to the fact that he was tongue wrestling a trafficker's horse. Neither one sounds pleasant. And there's definitely one that sounds worse than the other if you're not a white Christian nationalist. But I can definitely see them excuse bestiality before they excuse homosexuality. Because that's their whole thing. But it's like, pick your fighter, because neither one is exactly the Christian family values thing that they try to push, right? Completely against their whole conservative thing. It's even funnier to me that these are the same people trying to act like this is just too wild to be true, right? When in fact these are the same people who obsess and fantasize about ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Known homoerotic and bisexual and sexually fluid societies. Literally idolize a society built on oiled up men grappling each other in stadiums. Right. Let a sniff of bisexuality come near their orange messiah and suddenly they don't know how to act. They don't know what's going on. They're about to self-implode. Either way you slice it, the hypocrisy is showing. And Bubba, whoever or whatever he is somewhere neighing, giggling, and or blushing. Anyway, none of this was on my 2025 bingo card. I don't know about y'all.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this video. Credit goes to the original creators, and quick disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes, right? So at first everyone thought it was Bill, but now finding out that Ghislaine had a horse named Bubba, a horse. And honestly, this is worse, right? This is actually worse, because if the Clinton rumor was wild, the horse rumor is insane, right? That is a felony, a therapy bill, right? And a whole exorcism wrapped in one situation. And the reactions online, baby, the jokes are writing themselves. Some people have been laughing, some are horrified, some are saying that the internet needs a curfew because we clearly can't handle freedom. But let's be real, this whole Epstein saga just keeps getting darker and nastier the deeper you dig, right? Nothing surprises me anymore. Rich people live in a whole different universe. But credit goes to all original creators. As I said before, let's watch the videos and we'll be back with some commentary.
We live in a world where people aren't sure if the president of the United States, the current president, sucked off Bill Clinton or a horse. There is a non-zero chance that the sitting president of the United States gave a blowjob to a horse.
Ghislaine, girl, you may get that pardon after all. So it was your horse's third leg, not Bill's? Okay, y'all, this is getting a little bit too much for me. So Epstein's brother was like, hey, it's not Bill Clinton. It ain't that Bubba. But Ghislaine, you got a horse named Bubba? It's giving real beastie up in here. We need to talk to Mr. A. You know, I'm not going to lie. Y'all used to do that back then. I mean, y'all, not us, y'all. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past Wiggs or us. I wouldn't put it past him. And Putin, they say Putin has like multiple photos. Hey, Putin, I know we don't fuck with you the long way, but hey, if you drop them photos like you dropped those photos of Melania on national TV, I promise you, we won't say shit. But y'all wasn't ready for a female president. Y'all ready for this shit? And Tuesday is the day, y'all. Tuesday is the day that them votes come out and we get to get the files fully loaded. If I see any pictures of him and a horse, I'm about to fuck. I just want to know who's the bottom and who's the top. I'm just asking for a friend. Oh my God, this is not on my fucking bingo card.
Now the streets is saying that Bubba is a horse. And no, I'm not talking about Bill Clinton. Okay? A horse, if it was in fact a horse, that man is in the wrong career field. Because a horse, but one thing's for certain and two things for sure. If it was in fact a horse, oh, he's going down. Because, you know, if them people don't care about women, if them people don't care about kids, if them people don't care about black people, one thing they don't play about is them animals. They do not play about them animals. I need Miss Maxwell to come to the front and tell us if it was in fact her pet horse. I need her to come to the front of the congregation now. Now, I know they're not going to let her out. Okay? And y'all need to be watching her over in that prison. Because if something happens to her, yeah, we know what the vibe was. But a horse is crazy. One, because why would you do that to an animal? And two, because a horse? Okay, throat goat.
The horse? The horse's name is also Bubba. The horse. So is it Bill Clinton or is it the horse? Is this DL president or is this beastie?
Is Bubba a man, a horse, or a boy? Because if Bubba happens to be the 42nd president, then the question comes, was there really a Monica Lewinsky, or was that just a tangerine twat waffle dressed in drag? No judgments, I just know that's another group of people that wants nothing to do with the tangerine twat waffle. If it happens to be that Bubba is a horse, then again, bravo to the tangerine twat waffle for taking on more than most people could ever dare. And the fact that you can still sit down is shocking, but explains why you need a diaper at this early age of your life. Now, if Bubba happens to be a boy, and Putin has a picture of said Bubba with the tangerine twat waffle in compromising positions, then that would explain why the war with Ukraine has seen no support from the tangerine twat waffle basically kissing the butt of Putin. And that would show that the president of the United States is compromised and can be persuaded to do things against the interest of the American people just to protect himself from being in prison. And I would say that if Bubba happens to be a boy, then that would mean that he deserves prison justice. Not the type of prison just going to prison, but the type that happens when a person who decides to PDF a child is sent to prison. And I would say, without a question, that his answers about whether or not he gets to go to heaven should be asked and answered quickly, then be allowed to stand in the Oval Office and rule over a group of people.
Hey, so what do you mean it was the horse and not Bill Clinton? What do you mean it was the horse? What are you talking about? So you're telling me it's between Bill Clinton and fucking a horse? What kind of fucking country are we?
But I want to take this a step further. Not any part of Mark Epstein's statement cleared Donald Trump of blowing someone. That whole statement just cleared Clinton. It just cleared Clinton. It did not clear Trump at all. And I love that for Donald Trump. I also, in reading those emails, the fact that Jeffrey Epstein says multiple times that the worst person in the world is Donald Trump, he does not have one good cell in his body, is saying a lot. They fucking hated that man. Most people around Donald Trump actually do hate him, and he just doesn't get the memo. Even Melania hates him. So I just thought it was hysterical that Mark Epstein was asked about this email, and he basically said Bill Clinton is not Bubba, but did not elaborate further.
And then it started to wonder, why would Putin have photos of Trump and Bubba? But then it reminded me of that 2018 investigation from Channel 4 in England that came out, where they invested Cambridge Analytica. Yes, that Cambridge Analytica that stole all of our data and used it to deliver personalized political ads in favor of Donald Trump on Facebook, and also was behind Brexit. In that investigation, they said that they like to have compromising photos on people to use as blackmail. So does Putin have this? Is this one of the things that he's using over Trump? Because we have to remember, during this time when this photo was taken, Trump was having financial difficulties. No banks were loaning him money. And now it is said that allegedly he made his money by money laundering oligarch money. You know, people buying his condos for way over market value. Nobody living really in any of these condos. So it was said that allegedly it could be money laundering. I don't know, I'm just saying allegedly. But it would make sense that Putin, who knows that Trump likes to screw people over, would be like, you're not screwing us over. I need to have compromising information on you that I can hold over your head. And what better information would there be than him and a horse.
So I am aware of this particular idea that is floating around. What I will say on the matter is that I've not seen any concrete evidence or record of this personally. I'm not saying other people haven't. Certain without a doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell has horses. I'm sure one of them might have been named Bubba. I'm not a journalist, I only have access to the resources that you have access to, and I've not found any statement or article or anything about Ghislaine Maxwell and her horses where one of them is named Bubba. That's all I'm saying. We do know for a fact, though, is that both of these men are and were very depraved. That at their little parties there would have been considerable amounts of substances going around. In their substance-addled debauchery, Trump probably could have and would have done something like this to an animal. Hypothetically. Wouldn't put it past him is what I'm saying. Personally prefer this narrative a lot more. It seems a lot more realistic to me. Bubba was one of the mainstream nicknames of Bill Clinton, and Jeffrey Epstein did like to talk in code. You know, when you're looking through these emails, he's referring to Prince Andrew as the Duke. When you look at Trump's letter to Epstein, it's all, you know, may every day hold another wonderful secret. It's all like references and encoded stuff, you know? Why I find it a bit more likely that the Bubba in question is the dark Riz master of Arkansas himself. I'm not saying that this is impossible, I'm just saying that I've not necessarily seen any evidence or record of it myself that would allow you to make that reference. I'm not confirming that any of this is true, this is all allegations and current news that is going around. I prefer this narrative because it's far more romantic, although I wouldn't put this past him.
No, thank you. I will be sticking to Bubba is Bill Clinton. Because what do you mean? There's a horse named Bubba. Like, Bill Clinton is clearly the better option. Not only is it funnier, it's saner. You know, it's ethically, morally correct.
If Bubba was the name of one of Ghislaine Maxwell's horses, does that make Trump one of the four horsemen? Since he was trying to bring on the apocalypse.
I'm exhausted. Was Bubba Clinton? Was it the horse? Was it both? I mean, at this point, anything is possible. The Epstein files keep dropping like mixtapes, and every single one is worse than the last, right? And the politicians involved acting like they don't know anything. I'm telling you, America is in its villain era. But you guys should let me know what you think in the comments. Laugh, cry, scream, whatever feels right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Credit goes to all original creators. Quick disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes and for commentary based on other people's reactions. Thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this again, and as usual, I'll see you on my next one.